Hello anybody and welcome back to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Deeb, and in the last episode we began the fourth world of the game Mechanos, and today we are starting back up again, starting with Ripsaw Rage. Ripsaw Rage is an interesting Mechanos level because it is not in a factory, it's in trees. It's a tree level that is in the process of getting cut down, and you have to not get cut by the saw. As you can see, this is a very threatening and intimidating level, with the sharp red color of the trees, and also, I think the fact that we already missed something toward the start of the level, yeah, that's very threatening and dangerous, ooh. But yeah, we're starting this level off pretty much very dangerously. I'm pretty sure I didn't need to do that. In fact, I think that I could have just gone to the right and climbed up that way. But, not a lot of room to explore for secrets in this, and we got sawed in half. This is a very dangerous level, but it's also one I really like, even though it's intimidating and pretty tough, all things considered. I really like the twist of putting a tree level inside an industrial world and have the gimmick be that the level is being destroyed around you. It's just such a really clever idea. Now, one thing I'm wondering is if the trees are coming down into like a giant saw machine, or if the saw is traveling upwards and, if the saw is traveling upwards, cutting directly up through the trees to cut them in half. I'm not sure which is scarier, to be honest. But here we are, in Ripsaw Rage. One of the main challenges of this level, as you can see, is this is an auto-scroller, so no matter how fast you are, you're always going to be within a threatening range of the saw. And now we have to find the coin. We have to find the coin in one of these bonus levels, where the speed of the saw is going to be upped just a tiny bit. Just a little bit, but it's enough to make this a little bit more nerve-wracking. And for our trouble, we got ourselves a bonus coin. I mean, that's the only reward we get out of these bonus minigames. What else would you expect? All in all, though, once you get used to the pace of the level, it's not too bad. The main thing to, not fall into traps is to thinking there's a secret where there isn't. I mean, that's, the main challenge of levels like these in Donkey Kong Country 3 and in, Fish Food Frenzy from the last world, is when they put you on a time limit, that suddenly makes looking for secrets that much more stressful than it was before. And again, being stuck within the limits of how far you can travel, and Dixie Kong got crushed, that was not great. Being confined in how far you can go really makes this very challenging. How much you can explore and how much you can see at any given moment while trying to outrun a giant saw. I'm belaboring the point at this point, and you know exactly what I'm saying, so I'm not gonna say anything anymore about it. All we can really do now, though, is keep going up. Interestingly, this is just a bit of trivia. When they remade Donkey Kong Country 3 for the Game Boy Advance, they actually made an entirely new soundtrack composed entirely by David Wise. I think it was entirely by David Wise, and it didn't have Evelyn Fisher's input. And apparently one of the main changes was that they took the more moody, subtle music that was featured throughout most of the game and replaced it with much cheerier, bouncy tunes. I don't know why Nintendo decided to do this, but that's where we are. And I wanted to get that keg, but I got stuck on the roof, and I got sawed in half. Alright, so we're back up to here. We just need to throw that keg at that bee, and that will let us get into the bonus barrel for 15 green bananas. In here? Actually, I like the gimmick that they do for this one. See, what they do is they give you the invincibility barrel, so now they're playing with the giant saw as a platform that's shifting back and forth very rapidly, and also creating a new kind of circumstance in which getting the green bananas is quite difficult. My main advice here is just always be jumping. Always be jumping, and there we go. I wasn't able to change to Dixie while standing on that thing, though, but I think she would have been more useful. Anyway, to what I was saying before about Donkey Kong Country 3 on the blah 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 blah. I totally missed a secret, by the way, about the game being on the Game Boy Advance, is when they made a much more cheery and friendly soundtrack, they didn't really account for the fact that, you know, they would be playing that track in this particular level. So you got this nice, bouncy, cheery music. Meanwhile, the trees are getting cut down, and it's just really funny to see. It's worth looking up a video of that. Anyway, I'll meet you back up ahead to where I missed the secret that will take us to where we need to get the iron keg, to hit the coin. That's a mouthful. Alright, so we are coming up on the point where the secret is, and there it is. Your hint is basically just the banana that was there. And now we want to pull over to the left side. We're invincible now, so, you know, it doesn't matter that we're standing on a giant saw. And we get the opportunity to murder this dude for his money. Sorry, but we need the coin. We need coins coin, that's just the way it is. And now we can properly bring this level to a close. We're gonna run up and go visit Cranky for just a second. Yes! Yes! All you ever seem to do in these games is shoot this or jump on that. Why don't they make games about knitting? You know, I'm pretty sure that there are knitting games by this point, with how games have evolved since 1996 and how many games there are out there. True story, there is, like sewing software that was made for the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, the big brick. But that's not why I'm in here. I'm in here because of the music that we hear in the background. It's actually a rendition of Peach's Castle from Super Mario 64, which only came out a few months before Donkey Kong Country 3, and that's just a really nice touch, a really nice Easter egg for this game. That's really nice. I'm a big fan. Aren't you going to give your favorite relative a goodbye? No! No! We said no the other times, and we're saying no now. Sorry, Wrinkly Kong, but we are just shunning this whole thing. In the meantime, we're about to go on to Blazing Bazookas, but I gotta check the time. I know it might sound weird that I was checking the time after only doing one level, but that level took a little longer than I thought it would. But I think we have enough space to continue on and do Blazing Bazookas, our second industrial level, in which you jump on barrels that are shot by bazookas. That's their name, and that's what they do. So it's another industrial level, as you can see, and well, there's a crimp that we jumped on. He was biting very fast, so he was quite threatening. The main thing about the bazookas that we're going to be seeing throughout the level is obviously that they are pretty well coded with unique attributes. Like this one is shooting TNT at a fairly fast rate, so you don't have time to just mess around and smell the roses. Is there anything over here? There is not. Now, I think we may have wanted that, but apparently not. So here's a fun challenge. Can you get through this without... There we go. We got what was being protected by that dude, which is a squitter barrel. So now, we are Squitter again. After the first time being in the bonus stage, we now get to play him in a proper level. And interestingly enough, he is optional, I'm pretty sure. Like, you don't have to get it in this level. You don't have to get it from that bazooka. And of course, it is actually easier to get to the dude. The dude. Great description, Mr. Devious. You don't have to do something or other. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. You don't have to get to the dude with the TNT to beat the level. But it would be easier with Dixie Kong if you had her. Now, you pretty much saw on screen the whole gimmick of how to get that particular coin. And I like it. I'm a big fan. Also, I am not crazy because you don't need Squitter to fire all the way up here, but you can get up there without it if you have Squitter. So yeah, one of the main other gimmicks of this level is that... I don't know why I didn't just shoot that Buzz. One of the main other gimmicks of this level is changing the kinds of barrels that these dudes shoot. And the reason you would have wanted to do this originally is so you could bounce off of the barrels. But now that we have Squitter, we don't really need to do that. You can stand on top of him though, so that's interesting, I guess. Main thing though is we got ourselves a big old bear coin, so that was nice. And now we're dodging barrels, because they are quite scary. Now, is there acid down there, or what is down here exactly? I don't know what's down there. That is our answer. That's the only answer we're gonna get. Thankfully, we at least made it to the checkpoint, so it won't be too long to get back to where we were. Nice touch, though, that... It is a nice touch that if you were an animal buddy when you went into the continue barrel, the game remembers that, and you will be an animal buddy. Probably because it's necessary for a few levels in the game that the game remembers that you are an animal buddy, so it's easier to just make all the continue barrels remember that, rather than a specific few. I mean, really now. It just wouldn't be worth the extra effort. So now we're running away from a big old TNT barrel. I swear I've missed at least one bonus barrel by now, but maybe I'm crazy. And I fired right up into the TNT because I was impatient again. I'm taking a lot of hits in these last few episodes just by the nature of being a little impatient, and I need to stop doing that because that is just, it's not going great for me. Like right there. Now here's a fun challenge, is getting to the end of this hall and getting to the bonus barrel. You can bounce across off on the very fast-firing barrels, and it is pretty fun, but just for insurance, I floated over as Dixie Kong. And here, it's just a matter of getting the timing right, and there we go. It's pretty neat that normally you need to use the fast-going barrels in one direction to get to that bonus barrel, and then the challenge is to make it across on... or to go in the opposite direction. But I think going the opposite direction is actually easier than going with the barrels that are bouncing. But enough of that, we're back to dodging TNT barrels and getting 3 lives for being cocky and dangerous. Why did I press the fire button? I knew there were going to be more barrels there. Why did I do it? Why? It's important to keep in mind as these levels go on, they do start to get pretty long. So if you do die, you're gonna have a pretty bad time. Anyway, we are going to fire up over the TNT barrel. That's a little bit tricky, and it turns out that we were right at the end of the level too when we died. That's a little frustrating, but oh well. The deed is done. And we missed a bonus coin, so I'm gonna be going back in there to find it. So I will see you when I find it. Okay, so after you get the Squitter barrel right here, what you have to do is go back a little bit and come up here. I'm kind of a little surprised that I didn't find this, but oh well. The main thing is to just keep firing as you go down this hallway to make sure that the TNT barrels are taken care of. And for that, we gotta find the coin mission. I was kind of figuring that the other bonus coin would... Coin was gonna have to do with the animal buddy, because they usually do. We're gonna kill that guy for good measure, but, you know, we're on a time limit here, so... But we'll just jump in the acid, that's fine. Oh, my playing is not on par today, and we are turning into Squitter again and getting launched up into the air. Okay, that was a little silly. Sorry that my performance today isn't on par, that I'm not playing as well as I usually do. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm just feeling a little sloppy today. Just a little bit. But we're not gonna let that get us down, because we are just gonna beat this level, or this bonus stage, and we will call that a level. Just take your time. It's not as urgent as I kind of made it out to be. I didn't have to kill that first buzz at first, but anyway, level's done. We've gotten everything we need, so we're just gonna hop on out with a nice start and select. And with that brings an end to Blazing Bazookas. And we are almost near the end of Mechanos, actually. All we have to do is do one more level, and then we're at the boss. But we're gonna have to save that for next time. So, if you want to see more, and you want to see the low G Labyrinth, then I just hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye!